Hey guys, how's it going? Stephen Feifke here. Just figured that during the quarantine, I would do some live streaming of myself working on some arrangements. So right now I'm working on a chart for the Chad Lefkowitz Brown Remote Big Band on Easy to Love by Cole Porter. And basically what I'm doing is I am taking a concept that I already had on this chart, which was for it to be a vocal chart, and I'm basically turning it into a tenor feature. So certain things that I had, I'm moving around, and I'm gonna be adding another shout chorus and maybe working out some kinks in the harmonies and in the voicings. And yeah, so here we go. Let's listen to what I have so far. Drums, 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 piano, 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 break. Time. Okay, so already starting to work on some stuff here. Basically, I just need to get what's in the vocal part into the tenor sax feature line. Okay, so 2 choruses of melody. Okay. Let's just put this in the tenor saxophone part, and I'm gonna filter out the lyrics. A, I'm sure Chad already knows them, and B, I just don't know if it's truly necessary to include that on the instruments feature. So don't want to muddy up the part here. So let's go from the top of the melody. Oop, that's the second time. Don't want to give anything away here. Here's from the beginning. Saxophone counterline, trombone punches. Drums, 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 drums. Now whisper shout chorus. Ba 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 ba. Solo break. All right. Okay, not bad. So a lot of this is going to work, I think. First things first, there's no reason for the guitar to be doing those turns. And I'm just going to double this in the piano. Given the chord changes. All right, so let's go back here. So there's a lot of things going on here. Primarily, when I'm writing backgrounds or shouts or whatever it is, I like to include an element of call and response. So the intro starts out 2D brass, voicings, starts out 4-part harmony, and then it switches over here to some larger chords. And then the saxophones answer with a harmonized soli, brasses interject with a shake, and then we all end on a unison F together, which is just setting up the tonic. I like to I wanted to strengthen the tonic at the end of this intro, especially because the first chord change is actually a minor, a 2. So let's listen to that intro again. Okay, and partially because I wanted to remind myself that the guitar does not need to bend there. Okay, so what do? We start loud, then we're going to get soft. Okay, so big band plays, every instrument is playing, and then we just go back to rhythm section. Here's a little like sax counter line that enters in. They're just going to play a little thumb line. What a thumb line is just like a guide tone line. So we have something that's outlining the harmony in the saxophones, and then we have some punches happening in the trombones, just like a piano left hand sort of thing. And then, but one thing that I thought is that maybe like having the trumpets play over here, like these like gnarly expanded voicings, is maybe I can actually just give them this moment on the, like, go from trombones giving the punches to just giving a whole brass section punch, and then that can mimic what they have over here on in the last measure before the new melody. So let me just hear that again and see if I agree with myself. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so let's see what this sounds like. So this is a B flat 7 voicing. So I know that I gave the saxophones an expanded voicing here. So I'm going to give bass trombone the root, and they can play it an octave down. Why not? Then I have this structure. 7, 3, 13. I'm gonna give all of the trombones just like a big spelling of that chord, right? And I'm gonna give the rest of the trumpets. So I'm gonna, just a really common way to do this is I'm gonna give I'm gonna split the lead trumpet and the last and the fourth trumpet an octave apart. Just want to strengthen that melody. And I'm going to give them a sharp 11 chord. So I'm just spelling out an upper structure triad, a C upper structure triad here, combined with the B flat 13 chord down here. Let's hear, I'm not sure if I'm going to like the sharp 11, but let's hear it. I do like it. And now it's going to be too much trumpets. So I'm going to just change my quality of the chords here. So I currently just have the trombones playing a root position minor chord. And I'm going to give them more colors, because why not? So they also now get the 13. Or I'm sorry, excuse me, 13, the C13, that's where that's going to. But it's the 9 right now of G minor, and gonna put the same structure here. Basically, I'm just having them play, put the trumpet's head down an octave plus the 7. And then they can all play together again. Why not, right? Let's give the trumpets a break and our ears a break from that brassy sound. And here's how this now sounds. And shouldn't forget that these guys need like a mezzo forte. And they need a little crescendo for this line. I think the crescendo can start there most specifically, but probably it'll happen the whole measure. And there we go. Here we have like a little bit more call and response. We can even just see this visibly, that we have saxophones, trombones, then we have high, then we have low, then we have high again, then we have saxophones, right? So we're really like, we're not just switching like which instruments are orchestrated, but what we're doing is we're switching up like which registers have harmony existing in them at a single time, right? Awesome. So this is going great, but I think that now we need a little mezzo forte, and we're going to have these fellas crescendo and then diminuendo. Just a little reminder that they're mezzo forte. And then we're going to give them a little bit of dynamics here. And now we're going to copy and paste all of this dynamic information to the rest of the saxophone section. And should I give them a shake here? Yeah, why not, right? No shake. Too much. too much. Okay. So now we're giving the saxophones a little bit more time. We've set up the vibe of the call and response. Like now I want to just roll with some of the sounds a little bit more. But they need a forte here as a reminder. Playing loud. I mean, come on, it's the trombones and the trumpets. Do they really need a reminder to play loud? You tell me, guys. The rhythm section is like your secret agents in the jazz orchestra, right? When they're doing their jobs, you want to give them as little information as possible, right? Because they're the ones that are improvising the whole time, right? They're the ones who are supporting the ensemble, playing bass lines of their own making, comping patterns that they're hearing, right? You want that individual nature of the rhythm section. So sometimes if you over-notate, it takes away from that individuality. So I'm gonna just leave the saxophone rhythm here for the drums. Instead of writing in an exact answer, I'm gonna write in with saxophones. Answer ad lib. And that's gonna just tell them what's going on, but not tell them exactly how to respond. So, okay. Little milestones quote, why not? Okay, so what I have happening here is I have the bari playing with the trombone section, which is a nice way to kind of add a little bit of oomph to your trombones. If you give the bari the root, you can just bring out, you can bring it out a little bit more. It's like a 5-person trombone section almost. Yeah, there's some great examples of this happening on the Frank Sinatra record, LA is My Lady, especially on Teach Me Tonight. Okay, so I can tell that these guys are going to play this a little bit loud. So they're going to play this at a mezzo forte. And I'm going to have a diminuendo to mezzo piano for the remainder of their counter melody, their thumb line. And then I'm going to have them play mezzo forte again when they switch back to harmony. And basically, like, I'm grouping, I'm kind of leaving the bari sax out of this. As you can see, let's switch transpose so we can see the instruments in their ranges, right? You can see that this is pretty high in the saxophone's range, and this isn't like, this isn't this isn't a feel it rather than hear it moment. Like, you're going to hear the saxophones, you're going to hear this harmony, and you're going to hear this counterline. So they're in the middle of their register. If I added the bari sax in an octave below, like, that's going to put the harmony in a different place than I want it, just as far as the register goes. So I'm going to keep the bari sax out of this, and then what that does is it's going to open like this 5-person trombone section up to me to use. So this all sounded good to me. I don't think I need any edits in here, but I do need to just put the dynamics back. That was a little adventurous in for the end of that. Kind of funny. I like it though. Okay, like I said, we have in preparation for the bari sax joining in on this harmony, I have removed that sound from the trombone section, and that's no mistake that it happens after 4 measures. Just something easy for our ears to latch onto. Okay. And we'll diminuendo here as well. And we'll give them a little, we'll make sure that they take a breath, because we'll say that I want you to stop playing on beat 4. All right. Yes, and the diminuendo. Nice. Then we have a 4-measure drum fill. Okay. That is loud. Man, you know, do they need a mercato here? I think so. But most importantly, I think they need a droit. Whisper shout. Okay, so here's a question, right? When my concept for this was for it to be a vocal chart, I gave I had the saxophones play a soli. Okay, so the question is, should I give this to the tenor saxophonist, or should I keep this soli? Is there a better spot for a soli in this chart now that it's a feature chart? Let's hear it again. Maybe it's just that I don't like the actual soli I wrote. Let's try write another one. Do do be da da. Okay. That already sounds more like what I want that to sound like. Okay, so now let's harmonize. I'm just going to use the explode function. I'm going to give the saxophone's forward closed position voicings here. Might have to change around some of the harmony a little bit in the rhythm section. Okay, I'm going to blow this up. By the way, these are going to remain closed positions. I'm not going to break them out for explode them out further for to have drop 2 in this specific instance. I want that close sound. I want that double lead sound of the bari and the alto 1. I'm just removing the E naturals from here and kind of shifting the mode, figuring out which kind of scale I want to use for all this harmony. So now it has gotten easier for me to look at it exploded. Yeah. This sounds fine, right? So it's just this one. Yeah, even just switching this from a minor 6 chord to a minor 7th chord is giving the line a little bit more motion, and I think it's because I have like there's no 6th. It's coming from the minor 7 flat 5 of A minor 7 flat 5, which obviously has an E flat in it. I thought that maybe by switching quickly to like a G minor 6 sound, I could bring out the flat 9 in the D7 and have it be more of a like a traditional like minor scale, minor bebop scale. But I think that the E natural actually is taking away from the sound here, so I'm just going to keep it as an F natural. And also this, we have some pretty these are low saxes. So what am I going to do here? These guys need an accent as well. I'm gonna give a piano line. Make sure they're at mezzo forte by here, and then crescendo again to be ba da da da. Need accents here as well. Be da 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 da. This is a lot of information, but I like to give the saxes a little bit more information than I give the rhythm section because they're all playing the same exact thing. So I really want to make sure they're playing this exactly as I'm hearing it. Be da 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 da, and be da da do ba da bo. Be da do da do ba da bo. D D da da ba da. D. So technically this would be, but now this is confusing. I think that's fine. B da 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 D da da. B da 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 D D da da da. Yeah. B da da da. Right, so this is correct. Okay. Data. Right. Well, let's put you where you belong, which is down the octave. Is that good? Beep, beep, da 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 da. Bo, da. I think maybe if I go down to the A here. That's a low voicing. But it adds a lot more content just in that single moment. So I think I'm going to keep it. Do-dee-do. And then I think I'm going to add a little rhythmic thing on beat 4 here. And instead of it being pianissimo this time, I'm going to turn it into forte. So it goes back to our what we were talking about with call and response before. So we've just heard the saxophones for 8 measures, and now we're gonna just bring it back with a big punch from the brass, and we'll need that in the drums. Okay, good. Let's hear what this sounds like now. Good. Now let's add in some dynamics. I like the contour of this this soli a little bit better than the last one. Gives them a little bit more. You can tell like they're just like the actual like contour of the melody itself is more like has some better linear motion, and that allowed us to put in a little bit more implied harmony. Nice. Okay. But basically what I've just done is I've tidied up like the interlude, right? So we have a couple of choruses of melody off the bat, right? We have our intro, then we have our melody, and we build the amount of sound happening, and you can see that happening visually as I'm scrolling through the score, right? So when I get to the shout section, I really want to make sure the interlude, I really want to make sure that this has the same amount of drama as does the melody. So I'm still using this idea of call and response, expanding from the intro of brass, like tutti section, and then switching just before the sax soli to a brass tutti voicing, ba-da, ba-da, and then switching to the saxophones, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And now, okay, so when I've done this live, I like to, throw it around in my band. I like to give people all the chance to solo. So I'll just like point at them and say, your turn. But in this case, I know that Chad is going to be soloing. Okay, so I'm going to orchestrate another dramatic shift in volume, and we've just gone from hearing a huge shout section. So now I'm going to, I'm going to have bass and saxophone play duo for a little bit. How long is good? Bass and sax duo. And maybe this is something that everybody should know is happening. So I'm going to put this in system text over here. bass, sax, duo. Okay.